And hey, everybody, welcome to Raw Online Report. Today's guest is the man of the hour, two-time 212 Olympia champion, just made a spectacular showing over at the EVLS Prague Pro in Czech Republic. Please welcome the giant killer, Shaun, Clarida.
What's up, Shaun? Guy? What's up, Ron? Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
I thought you said, what's up, Giles, there for a second. So.
No.
I'm so jealous of Giles because he was there.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
History was made. But we're going to talk about Prague. I have to do my due diligence as a journalist and back up 5 weeks before that just to get out of the way. The Olympia.
Yeah.
So here's your Olympia. Condition was spectacular. I don't know. This might have been up there with your best conditioning ever. A tiny bit downsized, a little bit downsized. So I don't know if you've probably said on your own videos and other interviews, but what exactly was different about that prep? What do you think? I hate to say, I'm not going to say what went wrong, but what led you to being a little bit lighter than what we've been seeing the past couple of years?
We were so focused on the core being tighter and the midsection being much improved. You know, obviously talking to Tyler and Steve after Olympia, they said, your stomach was a little bit distended. So we figured if you come in a little bit lighter, that would be in better control, which it was. But then I ended up suffering everywhere else as far as the fullness and the roundness that I usually carry to the stage. So unfortunately, we kind of over-dieted, too much cardio and, sacrificed way too much muscle going to the show. And by the time, Friday rolled around, it was a bit too late to kind of come back to life. So it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, still, like, even in Matt's post, second in the world at 42. Are you 42 now?
Yeah, 42, man.
Still young, man. It's all young to me. But so as we all know, Matt stopped coaching shortly after that, and you're left without a coach, basically. So here's the man. Here's the man that is your coach now. Can we see that on screen? I believe so. How did you come to start working with Stefan Kienzl, the boss of Outlaw?
Well, let me just kind of back up there and kind of clear some things up right now.
Sure.
So I actually stopped working with Matt before the whole announcement came out, before Matt announced he was done coaching. I just wasn't happy with the look we displayed at the Olympia, and I actually got on a phone call with Matt, I believe that Monday after Olympia, and that's when we decided to part ways. So, the video coming out with everyone talking about Matt and Matt actually deciding to walk away, I had already at that point decided to part ways with Matt, and by that time I had already reached out to Stefan, and he and I already started working together at that point in time.
Okay. What made him your choice? I know he's like the guy everyone wants to go to right now, but what led you to Stefan? What was it about him, or a track record, a style of coaching? What influenced your decision?
A number of things, honestly. First, obviously his track record is phenomenal. But two, I've seen him live with his athletes at shows and how much he's involved with their prep and traveling to their shows. But three, the biggest part was I was actually able to get on a phone call with him, and we discussed not just the goals for me, but he had pretty much told me he had watched me come up and he had seen me in past years, and he was able to assess my physique and say, hey, I think if we did this is what can happen, and I think you can bring back the look you had in the past. And for me, that was big, having someone that actually knows me, has followed me, and can critique me. Mm-hmm. And he was super energetic and very much passionate about working with me. And that was enough for me, man. When you have someone who's that passionate about you and coaching and, the knowledge he has. I don't know if you guys know, he's been doing this almost 20 years.
Yeah.
He was a judge. He was almost a doctor. He's got such an amazing, such a roster of athletes. It was a no-brainer for me, man. And obviously what we displayed this past weekend, man, I'm so thrilled that I made the decision to work with him.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at Prague. The way you looked 5 weeks later, this is the Shaun we all know and love. This is the Shaun, I wanted to see a few weeks before at the Olympia. Most coaches would have said, I don't want to. It's batting cleanup. I don't want to. Let's just wait until you're done with this show or something. But what was he able to do? What did you guys do to regain that fullness? Because it's incredible. I mean, even the legs were almost all the way back. The upper body, as far as I'm concerned, was 100% back to the fullness, the density, everything that we're normally seeing. So did you eat a lot more? What did you guys do differently?
You guys would be surprised. It was literally food and rest. That was it. You know, he said, hey, we got to feed you and you need to rest your body. You know, there were days that I'd send him a check-in. He'd be like, hey, take today off. I'm like, okay, you know, because he just knows, you know, and then obviously cardio, you know, there's pretty much no cardio at a certain point, and he's very much just focused on your food, your recovery, and making sure you're training hard. So those were the three main elements that I believe would enable me to bring a much improved look. This look you guys saw in Prague is definitely not 100%, but it's definitely way, way better than what I brought to the Olympia for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious. I don't know if you've already said it in previous videos, but were you doing like a lot more cardio for the Olympia? Were you lower on calories? Was something different about that prep?
Yeah, man, we were doing a lot of cardio. So sometimes we were doing double sessions of cardio. Food was not high at all. We didn't even really carb up, you know, the week of, you know. And again, we were so focused on the core being tight that I feel like we were almost too scared to eat at some point in time, and you know, ended up being what it was. So.
Yeah. What? So I think Giles told me you said you were 174 at the Olympia.
So woke up Olympia they at 173.4, and then the Prague this past weekend I woke up at 178.8, I believe it was.
Wow, that's all the difference. It looks like so much more. I would have guessed like 184, 185 easily.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's what I said to people. Like, you know, you got to realize too, I'm only 5'1". You know,
Yeah.
so.
Well, you're down to 5'1" now. I knew it.
Yeah, I keep shrinking.
Yeah, it happens, bro. I tell you. But okay, because it's all an illusion, but you know, the condition was as good, which I did not expect. I mean, yeah. Because I was watching your updates like everybody else, and you had some posing stuff on there. I was like, I don't know if he's going to come in his usual condition. He looks like he's getting a lot fuller.
Yeah.
You know, as the weeks were going by between Olympia and Prague, but condition came right back in. So, you know,
yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I was nervous, honestly, because I just didn't know, you know. And then obviously we eating a ton more food than I'm used to, and again, I trust my coach, man. And he says, "Don't worry, we're getting there." And he's got an eye, man. And sure enough, it all came together perfectly.
Yeah, because this was let me bring up the 6 days out from Prague. This is even here. I'll show you. You look damn good. I've never seen you look bad. Put it that way, but. You know, we hold you to a very high standard, Shaun, because when we've seen somebody looking a certain way, we expect to see that every time. So here, yeah, you were definitely, this was 6 days out, and you're definitely looked like, I was like, wow, he's got his fullness back. Legs are like not 80% back, I'd say, but I don't know if he's going to be as that crisp, dry, grainy look that we normally see.
Yeah. And
you did it. You pulled it off. This is not an indication of what you look like. You looked a lot better than this.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I guess again, I don't give up his secrets and what he does, but he's a mad scientist for sure. Yeah. Honestly.
So you have competed. Was this only the second time that you've competed internationally?
No, I've competed several times. I was in Japan. I was in.
That's right.
Yeah, different places, man. Korea, I've been to.
Okay.
In India, I've been a lot of places.
So you've got the formula down. Yeah. What were you thinking? Because this was I felt two ways about Bumstead doing this show. I said, on the one hand, it's awesome because it's going to get a lot more eyes on this show.
Yeah.
Prague's always a good show. I mean, Samson won it last year. It's a quality show. But let's be real. It was getting 1,000 times more interest than it would have because we knew I knew in my heart, I said, Bumstead's going to be one and done. This will be it for him.
Yeah.
But even if it wasn't, just the anticipation of him being there. So it's good for you guys like you and Martin and the other guys, Horse MD, because now more people are going to be watching the show and you guys. But on the other hand, it's like, is he kind of stealing their thunder too? Because these guys have been at it doing open shows for years. Even you've been doing open shows for a few years now. Yep. He's going to step right in and be the superstar. I mean, how did you feel? How did you feel about when you heard that he was going to be in the show?
So I had initially, again, signed up for the show. I was committed, right after Olympia. And then when I heard he was doing it, I was excited, honestly, because, again, this is something that it was going to possibly be one and done. And I have a chance to stand next to one of the best who's ever done it, And like you said, when he announced it and Prague announced it, they sold out within 2 days. The media went crazy. You guys started talking about it and posting it. And for Martin and myself and the rest of the crew that were going to be there, I mean, that helped, put some eyes on us as well. So it was great to be there. And let me just tell you this, Chris is such a cool dude, man. Like, I've talked to him here and there at certain events and things like that, shows, but to be backstage with him, like that close, and to actually talk to him, he is such a real dude. He's so chill, so cool. And it was truly an honor, man, to compete with him and Martin. And obviously Martin's my boy. I beat him back in 2021. So this is definitely his comeback to me. But it was great being up there with everyone, man, honestly.
Yeah. Now, there's, no one's ever happy with the results of the show except the fans of the guy who wins. Everyone else, there's been uproar, outrage among, the 30 billion CBum fans. You're right there. And a lot of people actually thought, Shaun should have got second, not this Chris. And that. You heard arguments for every possible placing that could have transpired. Do you feel like, are you happy with the way things shook out in the final result?
Right, I'm on cloud 9 still, man. Honestly, placing third was like a big win for me. Again, guys, I said I went to the show with nothing to lose, nothing to prove, and everything to gain. And I gained, some new fans. I gained some more respect from people. Being the lightest and shortest guy, a 212 competitor, still beating out 17 other, open guys, man. This was definitely a win for me. I was far from upset. I was happy for both Martin and CBum. Could have went either way, like you said. People had him winning, CBum winning, Martin winning, they had myself winning. But for me, placing third at this show was definitely a win for me.
Okay. So, we're both bodybuilding purists. You've been around before all these other divisions too, although you were just a pup. But, a lot of the classic guys think that should be the ideal for open bodybuilding as well, when we both know size matters in bodybuilding. That's why Mr. Olympia, that's why bantamweights rarely win the overalls at the USA or Nationals. It's why we've had these big dudes winning the Olympia, or very thickly muscled guys. Have you seen all that? Have you seen all those comments? And I'm sure you wouldn't waste your time trying to educate everybody, but if you had to explain why size matters a little bit more in open bodybuilding than classic, what would you tell all these people who don't quite get it?
First and foremost, there's classes for a reason. Bodybuilding is bodybuilding. There's criteria that's needed to be number one. Size, conditioning, proportions, shape, conditioning, all those things Martin had. CBum had them as well, but obviously muscularity and size and density, that counts for something. Yeah, maybe CBum had maybe an inch or two of more conditioning than Martin, give or take, but at the end of the day, Martin checked way more boxes off than CBum. Don't get me wrong, it was close for sure. But again, you got to realize this is bodybuilding. And again, CBum is the GOAT in Classic. Classic has a separate criteria. If I were to go to Classic, I'd be probably somewhere down the line, like 5th, 6th, if that, because I don't fit that criteria. So that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. So talking about the way you looked, a fantastic look in this show. Put that up on screen again, because I think it's pretty cool. Cool look. This is a different one. This is you judging. I'm sure in your mind you're thinking, what if I'd looked like this 5 weeks before at the Olympia? You think the outcome would have been different? Because this, like I said, I think Keon's fantastic in his way. You're fantastic in your way. It's two very different physiques. But this is the Clarida I think has a better chance of beating Keon than the one that we saw. Do you think it would have been a closer battle? Do you think possibly you might have beat him had you had the usual fullness?
Honestly, Rob, I'll be 100% honest with you, man. I didn't even think about that at all, and I'm not thinking about that. Okay. What I am thinking about is how excited I am to now have a full year with Stefan going into the 2025 Olympia. He and I just sat and talked about what the game plan was, and he said the Olympia. It's time for me to grow and make some improvements, and that's all we're focused on. Keon's a champ, man. I don't want to come on here and say if, what could have, should have. That's not me, man. I don't talk bad about people. He deservedly won the show. I don't look back. I focus on going forward. Fair enough.
So I guess that leads me to my next question. We got the Arnold Classic coming up. You've done that before, and you've done top 5. Was it? Did you do 5th at the Arnold UK and the USA? Was that right?
So I did the USA. I placed 5th behind Rami, Samson, Andrew Jack, and Nick Walker.
So obviously that's a great show. It's got big prize money now too.
Yeah.
So are you thinking about it, or are you just gonna shut it down and come back at the Olympia next year?
I will be at the Arnold Classic as a spectator.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm not doing a show. Again, I want to give Stefan that full year to work with me to really make these drastic improvements that we want to make and be focused on the Olympia.
Okay. So that leads me to my next question. I mean, you don't have any like weak body parts. You have a good amount. I think you have a spectacular size on your frame, especially.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pull up one of the things from where you started from so people know. I think everybody understands. It was way back in May was the last time.
Yeah.
But what are the areas that you guys want to work on?
I mean, obviously everything, but the focus is going to be chest, hamstrings, and just making sure we keep the core tight all year round.
Yeah, because I mean that's got to be a challenge when you have added. Is this it? I think I got it. Yeah, here we go. You have put so much muscle mass. Is this it? Or yeah, that's your first NPC national show. This wasn't even your first. If I find the one from your first show, people aren't even going to believe it. But this is this isn't even the smallest you ever wore. Let me show people. So this was your first NPC national show. So this is back in 2011.
Wow. Yeah.
So what were you? 128 there,
Yep.
And I mean, your first show you were even lighter than that. Years before this, right?
10 pounds lighter, 118.
Wow. So you have put on. Jeez, let me try to do some math here. Almost 70 pounds of muscle, 65 pounds of muscle mass.
Yeah, close to 70 pounds. Yeah.
And if they say an inch of height is 10 pounds of muscle, I'd say that's like a 5'10" guy putting on 150 pounds of muscle.
Yeah. I see people say that if I were 5'10" or if I were this size, and it is what it is, guys. I'm short.
Right, but I'm saying, like I said, if you're 5'1" and you just competed at about 178, you said 179.
Yeah, 178, 179. Yep.
My estimation, I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. If you were like 5'10", 5'11", you'd be a 270, 280 pound guy on stage.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I know we've had this discussion too before, because every time people say Shaun can't get any bigger, that's it. He's maxed out his frame.
Yeah.
You've done it. So, how much I'm never going to doubt you. And, they would even say, well, he's over 40. He can't, you know what? There's all these things. They can't be done until they are done. Mm-hmm. So, and I know you believe in yourself and you've got this. I think Stefan is definitely, if not the best coach on the circuit right now. He's, I had the privilege of interviewing him a couple of months ago, and I could have talked to that guy for hours and hours. He's just a storehouse of knowledge and experience.
So smart. Smart.
I don't want to put a number on it, but I mean, how much more muscle do you think you need to be the fully realized version, the ultimate version of Shaun Clarida?
Honestly, it doesn't really matter because, again, I won the first Olympia at 177, and Stefan agreed. I even said, hey, what's your take? What do you think number-wise? He says, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I just want you to be improved all over. So it could be, I can step on stage at Olympia, let's damn near the same weight. As long as I'm improved and better and just as sharp, so be it. But I think that the way Stefan likes to feed his guys, who knows, man? I may end up being on stage next year at Olympia, 185, 190, but definitely will be in shape.
Yeah, I mean, you've never sacrificed condition ever,
no.
as you put on the weight all these years. The quality muscle. It's been a very gradual process because, I remember I've seen you every year you've competed in the NPC and the IFBB, and it's been a very gradual but very steady progression with the mass. So, is that one way that you think you've been able to keep, especially with as heavy as you go? A lot of people would be worried about the core being involved too much and getting blown out. How have you managed to keep the waist, even though they've given you crap saying, like last year at the Olympia, between transitions, sometime in the transitions, that you let the waist relax a little bit. How do you keep the midsection from getting larger when putting on overall mass? That's the $1 million question.
Honestly, it's I keep the diet in check all year round, so I'm pretty much eating the same foods, but obviously in bigger quantity. I'm still doing cardio in the off season. And I'm always mindful of my core. And that means when I'm training, even if I'm walking around, I make sure the breathing is in check. I'm always in my mind thinking, keep the core tight, even if I'm just walking around outside doing nothing. I'm very mindful of it. And I know that's an area that I definitely want to make sure is always in control, no matter what I'm doing.
Do you do vacuums?
Yeah, I mean, I train. So I do cardio here. I do core pretty much every single morning. 3 to 4 different movements. I do planks. I do vacuums. The whole 9 yards, man.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not 100% sold on the whole vacuum thing, but the more
it's. I mean, obviously, I'm not pulling vacuums, like Kienzl or C-Bum, but for me, when I practice the vacuum, it definitely helps with me with my breathing techniques and being more in control with my breathing.
Yeah, I think just like the waist trainers, I think I don't want to get any people who sell them angry at me. But I'm not convinced they do a damn thing except they make you more aware of holding your gut in.
Yeah.
Someone sent me one a couple of years ago. Oh my God, it was the most uncomfortable thing in the world. I was in pain like all day, and I said, "Screw this!" But you have to keep your gut sucked in so it doesn't hurt. That's the main thing. Did you ever try a waist trainer?
I mean, I have those trimmer belts that I wear for cardio to sweat, but I've never walked around with a regular waist trainer now.
Fair enough. So another thing is you've done, I don't know how many open shows now. It's about a half a dozen, I think, overall.
Three total so far.
3. That's it. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was more. So it was Legion Sports that you won.
Yep.
With the Arnold, where you got 5th behind that roster of legends we just talked about, and then this one.
Yep.
So yeah, I saw people like Lee Priest commenting the 212 guys like Shaun should just do open shows. You're qualified for the Olympia forever. Obviously, you can always jump into that. But what are your thoughts on maybe doing a couple of open shows before the next Olympia or after the Olympia? Keep the train rolling because you've proven that you are a very, very good open bodybuilder.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I had definitely mentioned this past weekend, the focus will always be the 212 Olympia. I'm not leaving the 212, but I definitely plan on doing, at least 1 to 2 open shows a year after the Olympia if I can. So next year, I'm hoping, there's a good amount of open shows overseas again. I would like to hit 2 or 3 in a row and obviously, like you said, keep that train rolling. Because honestly, Ron, I love doing open shows, man. Again, I go into these shows with nothing to lose, man. I'm just ultimately having fun on stage. And if I can knock off some big guys and collect a check and maybe a win, why not?
Yeah, because, if we're going to call you the giant killer, right? I mean, you got to kill some giants.
Hey, that's it. I mean, I've been doing pretty well so far. So
100% you have. I mean, that win at Legion, I think. So was Regan second or Sergio?
It was Regan second, Sergio third, and then Martin, I believe, was 4th.
Oh, that's right. I didn't see Martin coming, man. I really didn't see Martin.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Martin was 5th. Tony O'Burton was 4th.
Okay. So the second and third place guys that you beat had, I think, respectively 50 and 60 pounds on you, something like that, or more. But that leads the question. I probably asked you this before, but we haven't talked in a while. Do we need a 212 division if there are guys like you that you prove that it doesn't matter? You can be a foot shorter and 70 pounds lighter and still kick a lot of guys' asses.
No, we still need it, man. The 212 is a great class to have for shorter guys, lighter guys like myself, or just guys starting out, man. This without the 212 class, I wouldn't be here right now. This was my stepping stone for sure to be able to create a name for myself, to be able to make a living doing what I do and take care of my family. And ultimately, let's be real, like not everyone can win open shows. There are a handful of guys that can definitely win 212 shows, but there are certain open shows you just can't win. So no, definitely a 212 class is definitely needed, and I pray it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I really hope and pray the Arnold Classic brings it back because
that's another one, man. I'm going to put it out there right now. Arnold Classic, please bring back the 212 division. It's been way too long. I think the last one was 2018.
Yeah,
I heard the reason why they decided to not have it, but let's be real. There's a handful of guys, or if not more, that are ready to jump into that 212 Arnold Classic stage. Myself being one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I believe their explanation was they weren't getting enough top guys, enough big names, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I heard as well, man. But I mean, which I understand. I've seen the classes in the past, but this is a new time, new era. We got a lot more, a bigger and better crop of 212 guys that are hungry and itching to get on the Arnold Classic stage if they bring it back.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to start bumping up prize money, I can't tell them how to spend their money, but if you throw a little more money into it, you're going to get more big names.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm not gonna speak for everyone. I only speak for myself. I don't care about the prize money. I want that Arnold Classic title. I want to put one of those up here behind me. I mean, every show I go into, Ron, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't know the prize money. Wow. I didn't know the prize money for Prague. I didn't care. I just want to be able to go into a show and do well, if not win it.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, you sort of got. I hate to say screwed over, but you were still on the rise in 2018. You know, you weren't quite at your final level yet. It was another year or two before you were someone who could win that Arnold Classic 212.
Yeah.
You know, guys like who had won it. I can't remember who won it before Kamal. Was it Ashkenani? Anyway, you'd be beating them now. You know, the only guy that's been able to beat you the past couple of years in 212 has been Keon.
Yeah.
So stands to reason you'd be a logical choice for a possible winner. So yeah, Arnold Classic guys, if you're listening out there, Brian Powers, Arnold Schwartzer, whoever hears this, we the fans would love to see it. The athletes would love to see it. What are your thoughts on the prize money finally overall starting to get better and maybe it'll trickle down to the other divisions?
It's crazy. You know, I'm glad, man, because I came up in the era where these guys were making the big contracts, 6-7 figure contracts, and that's not there anymore, unfortunately. But it's great to see these promoters now stepping up and providing that prize money to kind of cover that. You know, I'm so happy for Samson, man, be able to collect that $600,000 check at the Olympia. You know, the prize money for the Arnold was $400,000 or $500,000. You know, we bust our butts, man, doing what we do all year round, getting ready for the show. This is a 24/7 thing we do. It's not easy by any means. We're sacrificing a lot, and to now be rewarded for it, it's a great thing to see. Yeah.
So I have to ask you: is it time to? Are you going to take a break now because you've been going for how long? Have you been in prep for at this point?
About 30 weeks, give or take.
Wow. Yeah. So I imagine your wife and your daughter haven't seen a whole lot of you, or you've been focused. You're the breadwinner. You're focused on winning these shows.
Yeah.
Are you going to take some downtime now and spend some more time with them and not? I don't know if you'll probably not stop completely training, but are you going to just spend a little more time with them and less time in the gym and cardio and all that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've already looked at my training for the next couple of months, and I'm scaling that back. I'm taking more rest days and more days off from the gym to focus on the family. We're planning a vacation right now for Christmas and the New Year. We're gonna take the baby to Disney for her birthday. And that's for sure, man. This little girl is growing by the day. So I got to be there for her, man.
She's about to turn 2, is that right?
She'll be 2 in January. So that's where, I want to take her to Disney for Christmas, and then rolling right into the New Year for her birthday, we'll all be in Disney together with the family.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I mean, I've been to Disney so many times. I'm all set, but man, kids, you got to take your kids there at least a couple of times.
And she's a big Mickey and Minnie fan. So I'm excited for her to be there her first time and be able to see and take pictures with Minnie and Mickey, but most importantly, just spend some quality family time.
Yeah. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but Stefan must be getting hit up with 1,000 DMs a day. He can't coach everybody.
No.
I mean, how fortunate are guys like you and Martin and Ernst that you got in before? It's going to be ridiculous. There's going to be like a waiting list for this guy at this point. But
people are hitting him up left and right, man. It's crazy. People are reaching out to me asking about him. I don't. He doesn't have a crazy roster with 212 guys, and so I'm very happy to be able to be in the mix and be one of his top guys. And so I know for sure he's getting hit up left and right. And I think I'm not gonna speak for him, obviously, but I doubt he's gonna be taking more guys on soon.
Yeah, but I mean, it's you've only been working with this guy for a couple months, but it seems like the partnership, the collaboration is already it's like it was meant to be. Because I mean, I've never seen. I said it on your Instagram. I've never seen anybody improve that much. Not your condition wasn't off the Olympia, but I said I don't think he's going to be able to get his pop back in 5 weeks. Because I've really rarely ever seen that done, but you pulled it off, Shaun. Somehow, some way, you did it. You impressed the hell out of us. It was a very respectable showing.
He's a mad scientist, bro. Like I said, when we talk, he gets so excited, and like the way he talks to me and sends messages, and like he, just seeing that and feeling that makes me feel good. One, but makes me want to work harder. And so getting that feedback from him, it's like, okay, my coach is happy. Let's keep kicking ass and keep moving forward. And like I said, just 5 weeks we did this, Ron. I mean, no one believed it could happen, probably myself included. But we did it. We pulled it together, had a great showing in Prague. And like I said, the biggest thing for us right now isn't the past. It's what we're going to bring to the 2025 212 Olympia.
Yeah, because the fans are so fickle in this sport. It's crazy to say second at the Olympia was a bad showing. That's ridiculous to even entertain that thought.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, oh no, Shaun should retire. He's all done. He washed up. I'm like, okay, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But then all it takes is a few weeks later, you come back looking fantastic and take third behind two amazing open. Well, Chris wasn't open bodybuilder technically at that show. For people to, you know, you've got a lot of support online, social media. As I was doing my live wrap ups with Giles, I mean, a lot of people were making really nice comments about you. So whatever you and Stefan are doing, man, it's working well. I'm very excited because, you know, the Olympia, if it's going to be one guy just dominating for years, it's not that exciting. We love comebacks. We love underdogs. Yep. So, you know, if you were like a 4-time Olympia at this time, people would start turning on you at this point. That's how it works. That's just how it always is. Giles says it's about 4 wins. He noticed it with everybody, Ronnie, Phil, Jay, whoever it is, Lex Lewis, and then people, because they just get bored and they want to see somebody new. But you're already set up. We're talking about almost a year away, but this is already set up for an amazing comeback. You know, a rocky story. You know, if you come back, if you get your title back, wow, it's going to be like a movie.
Well, that's another thing too, man. Like, I was very disappointed with the Olympia, but I said I want to finish this season strong and on a high note. And there was nothing better than placing third behind Bumstead and Martin. And I mean, I got home last night around 5 o'clock. I was on the treadmill by 5:30, honestly, because I'm so here. I'm crazy, man. But no, I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you should be. You look fantastic. So, Shaun, I appreciate you doing this. Especially, you must be still kind of recovering from all this prep and everything, and you know, your family needs you and all that. So I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
And, you know, just for inspiring us all. Anybody who's ever rooted for an underdog is 100% behind you right now. Even though you've already won the Olympia 2 times, you're not that much of an underdog. But you know what I'm saying. We're going to be watching you all year and seeing what you and Stefan can put together over the next few months, because it's almost magical.
It's going to be good, man. I'm going to be putting out way more content on my YouTube, on my Instagram as well. I already talked to Stefan. I'm going to be making a trip or two to his country to train with him for a couple of weeks.
Wow.
So he can see me in person and prepare me and get me to be where I need to be 100% on stage. So I'm doing whatever it takes to be my absolute best. So if that means going to Austria or wherever he's at, staying for a couple of weeks to ensure that everything is precise, I'm ready to work.
Right on. And, you know, we also got a great team over there in Texas with Gasp. I see you in the ads and everything every day. So it's crazy. I mean, so many of you guys, the top guys, are out there in that area, the Dallas area.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's moving to Texas, man. Everything's bigger in Texas. So come on down, Ron.
Oh, boy. No, I love my boss.
You got to come visit the gym too, man.
That I have to get to. I do have to get there. It's Destination Dallas, right?
No, my gym.
Oh, your gym. I'm sorry. Let me find that.
Jungle, man. Jungle Gym.
Jungle Gym. Yeah, let's mention that real quick. Is that on any of the recent Instagrams? Is this where you're training?
Yeah, I have. So if you go to my main page, you go to the profile. I have the GK Jungle has its own page.
Oh, okay. Oh, GK Jungle Gym. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, I would be remiss if I forgot. I totally forgot. See how I told you got to remind me of stuff because I'm old and I forget stuff? Here we go. So you opened this up earlier in the year, was it?
Right after Christmas last year, I believe. Right in the new year. Yeah.
Wow, look at that. So where is this exactly? Is it in the city of Dallas or where is it?
So it's about 45 minutes from Dallas.
Okay.
It's in the middle of nowhere. There's no signs. If you didn't know where it's at, you will get lost, and that's how I like it.
Yeah, but I mean, I like those out of the way places sometimes the best anyway. But you've obviously you handpicked every piece in here, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, everything's old school. I mean, shipped and bought from all over the country, different states. Cybex, Icarian, Precore, Nautilus, all Generation 1 stuff, plate loaded. I do want to shout out my sponsor, Jim Lako, who I partnered with this past year, who provided me with a ton of pieces as well. So it's a 5,000 square feet facility, obviously private, with a full posing room. I got just about 100 pieces of equipment, all handpicked by me.
Yeah, I can. Jim Lako, I had never heard of it in my life until I went to Elevation Gym in Miami, where all the influencers train.
Yep, yep.
And they have, I don't know, they probably have 20 or 30 of their pieces. I was like, wow, this stuff is awesome. Some very unique things.
I love Jamaica. Obviously, I've had, a few companies reach out to me to, partner, and, I said no, but Jamaica, and I've always been a fan of Jamaica. And, when I was able to meet with them in Germany last year, we talked a little bit, and I've been using their stuff even before becoming an athlete, and their stuff is just so clean. It's very this footprint's very small. It's almost close to me when I think about equipment, almost like hammer strength. It's built to last. And I absolutely love the variety and everything about the company.
This is how I know you're a real OG. See this Nautilus machine?
Yeah, that's my baby right there.
I haven't seen, aside from the Powerhouse Gym in New Haven, Connecticut, I haven't seen one of these in 25, 30 years. And that is an awesome machine.
1970s Nautilus Riddell. Yeah, they call it the torso, but it's one of the best machines ever. There's a bunch of OGs in there around. We got a super pullover machine. We got a jam squat, a jam press. We got a whole bunch you got to check out soon.
Yeah, I mean that's why I like going to gyms that are owned by people like you, because I know you'll find the best of the old stuff and the best of the new stuff.
Exactly. It's a little bit of everything in there. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So guys, GK Jungle Gym, that is on Instagram. You can check that out. And your YouTube is just Shaun Clarida.
That's it.
I'll put a link in the description for that. So man, congratulations on that. I see that completely slipped my mind. But man, looking like an awesome 2025 for you, and I'm very happy because I remember meeting you way back before you turned pro.
It was at the Strong and Shapely 2008 All-Star Party.
Wow, yeah, and you're thinking you had never done an NPC show at that point.
No.
And I looked at some pictures of, I don't know if you showed me on your phone. I said, dude, you'd win the nationals easy. The bantamweights, you get your pro card. And sure enough.
You said that, yeah. You said you and Steve had said I was a star in the making. I'm like, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
But I'll tell you, I never in my wildest dreams would ever believe you could look the way you do now. So all the credit in the world. You've been working very hard for a very long time. You are not an overnight success story. You've been grinding and grinding away. I remember like New York Pro, you'd move up like a place or two every year until you won it. Olympia, you moved up a place or two until you won it. So, I like to see the people that really just have that perseverance. They just keep going until they get what they want.
You know what's crazy? People keep asking, hey, when are you going to be done? When are you going to be done? You're over 40. And it's like, guys, that passion and that fire is burning the same way it did 20 years ago. Like, I have no inkling in my mind, God forbid I get hurt or something or type of injury or health, I'm still going to keep going, and I look back, like all the guys that I came up with, and it's like they're all long gone. It's like, I'm still here. I just love this sport, everything about this sport. I fell in love with the training, the gym, and the bodybuilding stage was an avenue for me to display my hard work. And now this is all I know, Ron, and this is everything I'm able to work hard for, be able to make a career out of it, provide for my family, a living. The NPC IFBB have enabled me to make this an amazing life, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for sure.
Cool, man. All right. Well, thank you again, Shaun. Follow him on YouTube. Check out his YouTube channel, Shaun Clarida, and of course, Shaun Clarida on Instagram, or is it called Giant Killer Shaun?
Yeah, Shaun Clarida. I keep it simple, man.
So many people have these weird title things. You never find it. Like, dude, you need to change your Instagram. People can't find you.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. And guys, everybody, thank you so much for watching Ron Line Report with the Giant Killer, two-time Olympia 212 champion and awesome open bodybuilder, Shaun the Giant Killer Clarida. We'll see you next time.